Imagine standing amidst the searing heat of a desert battlefield, the air thick with sand and smoke, the cries of dying men echoing around you. It's 53 BC, and you're witnessing the catastrophic defeat of Marcus Licinius Crassus and his Roman legions at Carrhae, a disaster that would reverberate through history. But this wasn't just any defeat. Over 10,000 Roman soldiers vanished mysteriously in the aftermath, fueling one of history's most tantalizing questions. What happened to Crassus's lost legion? Marcus Licinius Crassus was one of the richest men in Roman history, a political titan and a member of the powerful triumvirate alongside Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great. Ambitious and hungry for military glory to match his vast wealth, Crassus set his sights on the Parthian Empire, a formidable enemy that controlled vast territories across Persia. His thirst for power would soon spell his doom and ignite one of Rome's most enduring mysteries. In the scorching deserts near Carrhae, modern-day Turkey, Crassus faced the cunning Parthian general Surena, who employed deadly cavalry tactics that devastated the heavily armored Roman infantry. Roman legions, famed for their discipline and prowess, were butchered mercilessly under a storm of arrows. Crassus himself met a gruesome fate, reportedly captured and executed, his head severed and used as a prop in a theatrical display, a chilling symbol of Roman arrogance meeting its brutal end. Yet amid the carnage, historical records note something peculiar. While many Romans lay dead on the battlefield, thousands were captured alive. The Parthians had a notorious reputation for enslaving and humiliating their prisoners, yet the ultimate fate of these captured Roman legionaries remains shrouded in mystery. What became of them? Some historians argue these soldiers were forced into servitude, marched eastward into the vast territories of the Parthian Empire, dispersed among various settlements, and systematically stripped of their identity. Yet, as the centuries passed, tantalizing clues surfaced, hinting at a more extraordinary fate. Fast forward 2 decades after Carrhae. In the depths of Central Asia, far beyond the borders of Rome and Parthia, a Chinese chronicle written by the Han historian Ban Gu describes a fascinating encounter. Chinese forces battling nomadic tribes near the Tarim Basin encountered warriors unlike any they had seen before. These mysterious fighters wielded a disciplined formation, creating impenetrable walls with their shields, a classic Roman military tactic known as the testudo, or tortoise, formation. Strangely, these warriors reportedly had light-colored eyes, fair skin, and spoke a foreign tongue entirely alien to the Chinese. Could these warriors have been descendants of Crassus's lost legion? Further evidence emerged centuries later, reinforcing the theory of Roman survivors establishing new lives far from their homeland. The village of Liqian, located in modern-day northwestern China, carries an uncanny legacy. Residents bearing distinctly European features, genetic markers strongly linking them to Mediterranean ancestry, and local customs eerily reminiscent of Roman traditions. Even their name, Liqian, strikingly resembles the Latin legio, legion. Is it possible that these displaced Roman soldiers, exiled through defeat, embarked on an incredible journey across thousands of miles of hostile terrain, eventually settling and integrating into distant lands unknown to their contemporaries? This idea, initially dismissed by skeptics as fantastical speculation, gained traction as archaeological digs unearthed artifacts bearing striking Roman features in remote Chinese settlements. Coins, armor fragments, and architectural patterns astonishingly similar to Roman designs began emerging, lending credibility to this astonishing hypothesis. Yet questions linger. If true, how did thousands of Roman soldiers survive such a harrowing journey across treacherous deserts, towering mountains, and foreign cultures hostile to outsiders? The answers may lie in their exceptional training, resilience, and the universal human instinct for survival, adaptation, and integration. Some historians propose an even darker theory, that the Parthians, skilled in psychological warfare, deliberately resettled the captured Romans far from their homeland, exploiting their military discipline to strengthen distant borders against emerging threats. These Romans, over generations, may have maintained their martial skills, becoming mercenary forces highly prized for their tactical prowess, ultimately intermarrying and assimilating into local populations. The disappearance of Crassus's legion isn't merely an isolated event, but a profound testament to the far-reaching impacts of Roman imperial ambition. Crassus's disastrous defeat at Carrhae didn't just halt Roman expansion eastward, it reshaped geopolitical dynamics, influencing centuries of Eurasian history. As archaeologists continue uncovering ancient secrets, the lost legion's fate inspires wonder, curiosity, and relentless debate among historians, scholars, and enthusiasts alike. It challenges our understanding of history, migration, and cultural exchange, pushing us to reimagine the boundaries of ancient globalization. Today, the story of Crassus's lost legion endures as one of history's most captivating mysteries, a potent reminder of the unexpected ways human destinies intertwine across continents and epochs. Whether through slavery, survival, or integration into distant lands, their unknown fate continues to fascinate and provoke, reminding us that history, even in its silence, has profound and enduring power to captivate our imagination. Yet as historians and archaeologists delve deeper into the enigma of Crassus's lost legion, new theories and fascinating interpretations continually emerge, adding layers of intrigue to this enduring historical mystery. One compelling narrative proposes that Crassus's captured legionaries weren't merely victims of forced resettlement, but were actually participants in one of history's greatest forced marches, a staggering trek across Asia, spanning decades and generations. According to this theory, the Parthians recognized the immense potential these disciplined Roman warriors offered. Instead of merely enslaving or scattering them, the Parthians strategically relocated this formidable fighting force to distant eastern frontiers beyond their own empire's borders, effectively employing them as an elite mercenary buffer against nomadic invasions. Historical precedent for such tactics existed even within Roman practices themselves. Rome frequently utilized defeated enemies as auxiliary troops, acknowledging that warriors, once fierce foes, could become invaluable allies when granted a sense of purpose and autonomy. Could the Parthians, familiar with Roman strategies, have done the same? Imagine thousands of Roman soldiers marching endlessly across the rugged landscape of Central Asia, their iron discipline and famed resilience tested to extremes as they traversed deserts, crossed treacherous mountain passes, and encountered diverse peoples utterly alien to their Mediterranean homeland. Such an ordeal, stretching over thousands of miles and several generations, would undoubtedly alter their cultural identity. Yet, the core military skills, formation fighting, engineering prowess, strategic planning, would persist, passed down as sacred legacies from fathers to sons. This scenario gains intriguing support from detailed accounts in ancient Chinese chronicles, notably the Ho Hanshu, or Book of the Later Han, which vividly describes encounters with warriors whose martial discipline and tactics strikingly resembled Roman legions. These fighters, dubbed by Chinese historians as fish-scale formation soldiers due to their shield formations reminiscent of overlapping scales, possessed combat tactics entirely unknown in East Asia. Further descriptions indicated these soldiers' distinctive physical appearance, suggesting foreign ancestry, fair skin, taller stature, and distinctly non-Asian features. The theory becomes even more compelling when considering the Silk Road's role as an artery of human migration and cultural exchange. Although primarily known for trading silk, spices, and precious gems, the Silk Road also facilitated vast migrations, mercenary movements, and the spread of military innovations across continents. If Crassus's legionaries were indeed forced along these routes, they would have significantly contributed to an unprecedented cultural diffusion, inadvertently bridging distant worlds, Roman military techniques blending seamlessly into Eastern warfare traditions. Another tantalizing dimension of this mystery involves the linguistic clues left behind. Local legends in regions like Liqian describe ancestors coming from a distant Western empire, hinting at their foreign origin in oral traditions preserved for generations. Modern linguistic research has uncovered intriguing lexical similarities between local dialects in these remote Chinese communities and Latin or early Romance languages. While linguistic evidence alone cannot conclusively prove the Roman origin theory, combined with genetic markers and archaeological findings, it forms a powerful multidisciplinary argument. The village of Liqian itself has embraced its supposed Roman heritage, turning an intriguing historical possibility into a vibrant cultural identity. Today, visitors encounter residents proudly showcasing relics resembling Roman artifacts, festivals reflecting ancient Roman traditions, and culinary practices that astonishingly mirror ancient Mediterranean diets. Olive oil, flatbreads, and even specific methods of food preservation reminiscent of Roman methods. This fascinating blend of East and West illustrates the potent legacy of Crassus's lost legion, surviving vividly in local culture thousands of miles from Rome and centuries removed from the battlefields of Carrhae. Moreover, the legacy of the lost legion challenges established historical paradigms, prompting scholars to reconsider the linear narratives of ancient empires. It suggests that global history is far more interconnected and dynamic than traditionally imagined, with peoples and cultures intertwining in surprising, often unrecorded ways. In this broader context, Crassus's lost legion becomes a powerful symbol of the unintended consequences of empire building and the profound impacts defeated armies can have far beyond their original homelands. Despite extensive speculation and scholarly research, definitive proof of the lost legion's fate remains elusive. Archaeological excavations continue, driven by hopes of unearthing more conclusive evidence. Every fragment of Roman-style pottery, every discovered coin inscribed with Latin script, every piece of weaponry bearing distinctly Roman craftsmanship provides tantalizing glimpses into this remarkable historical puzzle. Yet the story's true power lies beyond mere historical curiosity. It resonates on a deeply human level, encapsulating universal themes of survival, adaptability, and identity in the face of overwhelming adversity. The Lost Legion represents the countless unnamed individuals whose lives were forever altered by the tides of history. Soldiers uprooted from familiar shores, thrust into uncertainty, and ultimately woven into the fabric of distant civilizations. The enduring fascination with Crassus's Lost Legion underscores our collective yearning to understand human resilience and cultural transformation. It invites us to imagine the lives these legionaries and their descendants must have led. Marriages formed, battles fought, children born who carried both Roman and local heritage within their veins. It compels us to recognize history's complex tapestry, where empires rise and fall, armies march and vanish, and cultures evolve through countless small acts of individual adaptation. Today, Crassus's Lost Legion remains a powerful reminder of history's unpredictable paths. Whether they perished in distant battles, blended seamlessly into foreign societies, or left subtle imprints still discernible in remote communities, their story captivates our imagination, urging us to continue exploring, questioning, and marveling at the mysterious journey of humanity itself.